I wasn't really a teenager when the rock and roll period happened, so I heard a lot of the rock and roll stuff. You know, there was a mixture, because I'm from a family of 13, so there was a mixture of records being played. And when I heard, you know, Chuck Berry and, you know, so many other people, you know, Little Richard and stuff like that, I mean, they're phenomenal records, you know, and you play Little Richard on the radio now, you know, Long Tall Sally, and it still sounds bloody great, you know, it's fantastic. And so what I heard was knocked me sideways. So much so it knocked, obviously, the people like the Beatles, because they were influenced by it, the Stones, you know, the Stones, I mean, they did a lot of Chuck Berry stuff. Every artist, and I mean every artist, takes a bit from everybody. Well, when I started, I mean, you know, if you went down the job centre, I mean, it was like stacking boxes or a trade or whatever. You say, well, where's the guitar section? Where's the rock and roll section? I want to be a singer, you know. Well, it's cubicle 4. Well, there was no cubicle, you know, so you just really had to get out there and pay your dues, and that's what I did. Got in a tin van and just played all the gigs and hope that one day, you know, it would happen. It helped me to learn, you know, my trade and things, and it's nice to actually turn around and say that you've paid your dues, you know, and it's a nice thing to say, and nobody can take that away from me, and that's what I did. Rock and roll basically is a term, it's an umbrella with many music underneath that umbrella, and under that umbrella comes country, you know, swing, jazz, rhythm and blues, all types of music. I like all kinds of stuff really, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the U's, you know. I don't like all of what comes out, but I like all types of music, you know. I didn't go with fashions of the day. I just stuck with what I enjoyed doing, yeah. It was much harder than in those days, excuse me, when I first started, because I don't think A&R people used to come down to Wales, you know. It was very difficult, and if you had to break it, you have to break it in London and move up there eventually, you know. But it was very, very difficult. After doing all those years up in the motorway, you know, in the vans and on the continent and so forth, two people came backstage. It was Mike Hurst and Chris Bruff. And they said, have you got a recording contract? And I said, no. He said, do you have a manager? I said, no. And I said, well, yeah, I'd love a recording contract. And it was Mike Hurst and Chris Bruff that actually went to CBS Studio, a CBS record label, which is now obviously Sony, and approached the label, and that's how I got my deal. Now it's a bit more easier because A&R, you know, with the groups and bands, a lot of Welsh bands are very, very successful now, and so the A&R people have woken up a bit, and they do travel far afield. So the Welsh is flying the flag, which is great. I'm very proud. My last official single release was Radio, which I did with Roger Taylor from Queen and Rod Argent from Argent, and that was a slightly change of direction for me. Everyone has a different stage in their career. I'm yet to do my next stage.